Facts. How many times do you hear your people say that in common conversation right now? You'll bring up a point that is valid or that they agree with, and they'll say facts. Well, I'm about to hit you with another fact. Most people don't even really realize what facts means. Fact. I'm going to be a multimillionaire for my family. Fact. Why is that a fact? It hasn't happened yet. Well, it's because I spoke it into existence and I believe it. Fact. My family is blessed, covered, and highly favored, and they will see success in many different areas. Why is that a fact? Not only because they have, but because they will continue to, because I'm operating once again in belief, and I just spoke it into existence. So now my faith is going to get behind it and make it so. Why is that the case? Because facts are what I operate on. And to understand what I'm talking about by saying that's what I operate on, you got to understand what facts really means. So it's more than just a word. You got to break this down and make it personal. So facts actually means faithful activity creates true success. That's right. So that is faithful activity creates true success. Now, we're not talking about the success that necessarily everyone sees, but I'll get into that and go further into that in a minute. Let's stay on task. Fact is that facts come true because of the belief, the working with the spiritual and the physical. Here's how that operates. So first, you must be faithful in what you believe. Now, there are two parts to the faithful aspect in this scenario. What does faithful really mean? When you're faithful to something, you're committed to it. You're committed to seeing it through and making it happen. You're committed to what it is you believe, what it is you're striving for, where it is you're looking to get to, what level that is, what promotion that is, whatever it is you're trying to get to. You're committed to reaching those heights. And in that commitment, another word comes into play that falls right in line, which is consistency. Because you're going to need consistency to follow through on that commitment. And when you're faithful, you believe. You believe at a higher level. I believe in God, so I'm committed to believing in God. I believe that what He said I can have, I can have. I'm faithful to His way because He's been faithful to me. He's blessed me. So even though I don't see it physically right here, I see it. It's already mine. And that's a fact. I'm speaking facts right now. So because I'm speaking facts and I already believe it, because I'm faithful, it's easier for me to be committed and operate with consistency. So now we all know that faith without works is dead. And look, I operate from a biblical standpoint because that's where my strength comes from. That's my belief system, right? So that's how I operate. Okay, so what does that come into play now? Well, works, what are we talking about? We're talking about activity. And your activity is in two parts right here. It is literally in two different elements. The spiritual element and the physical element come into play in your activity right here. That's right. First and most important, honestly, is the spiritual element. You have to tap into the spiritual and use those spiritual laws to push you along the way. The power of the tongue. That's why when I spoke those things, they started to be so, because I put it in the earth. So what I do to follow that is what's going to make it facts. You understand? So I'm using the power of the tongue. I'm using the power of belief. I get up every day, and in that spiritual realm, that means that I have written down what is the word that I'm looking for? I've written down a statement that I'm believing to manifest itself. And we'll talk about that in a moment. I've written down the things that I want. I say it on a daily basis. So that's operating the spiritual law using the physical aspect. And then I position myself for whatever task or whatever level, whatever goal it is I'm looking to achieve. I position myself by physically getting the credentials that I need, physically getting the business license, physically going after the business, physically learning the skill set that I need to learn in order to achieve the goal that I have already declared I'm going to achieve. So that's the physical aspect that must come into play. And that's all combined in your activity, right? But it does not stop there, of course, because now we got the F, we got the A. But what happens when we're faithful, when our faithful activity comes into play? What happens is now it creates. See, you're actually doing it. You're actually operating in your belief. You're literally sowing seeds into the ground like a farmer does when he drops a corn seed. And when you're actively pursuing the levels, pursuing the education, pursuing the skill set, pursuing the tools, actively using those tools to get you to where it is you want to be, you're creating. You're literally watering the belief that you have. You're literally growing yourself in doing so. And what happens? The laws of the universe. The manifestation has to come, because see, you already see it. Because, right, believe this. Whatever you're believing for, you see it twice when you really want it. First, you see it in here. You see it in your mind. You see it in the spirit realm. You see it blessing your family. You see it blessing your life. Then you start going after it with your faithful activity. And that's where you start literally creating it, chopping away at those levels, ascending, getting to those other places, so that what happens is, as it creates, literally creates, you've got manifestation. That's right. This is where the manifestation begins, because of your faithful activity. So the manifestation starts to happen. You start to see progress. You start to see yourself getting better, growing in that role, that field. You start to see the foundation of what you're believing for growing. The manifestation is truly happening right now. And here's what happens. That manifestation, when it unfolds, even when it gets there, let's say that manifestation resembles $50,000 a month. Let's say it's the house that you wanted on the end of the block. Let's say, it's the weight loss. Like, these are things that we're all working on. I'm certainly working on that, right? But it's happening right now. I will have it down. You'll see it, right? What's the reason that you want what it is that you want? The reason you want the $50,000 a month isn't because of $50,000 a month. Let's just be honest. We give money the value because the money is a tool. So $50,000 a month is a tool. What is the tool used for that makes you want it? It's used to make your life more comfortable. It's used to bless your family. It's used to bless your lifestyle. So what that represents is, wow, I can walk away from this job that I don't really like, or I can step further into the career that I love. Or I can help my parents to retire early. I can make their life better because I have the resources to do so. I can put my children in private school. And when they're out of private school, I can show them the world. I can show them things that I've never seen. We can experience them for the first time together. I can shower my loved one. I can bless my wife abundantly. These are the things, that's your true desire. That's truly what you want. What you truly want is the peace of mind that comes with it. I can bless my church, give back to the God that gave to me. That's truly what you want. So what are we talking about? Your why. True. Your real reason is your why. So understand that your real reason is your why. Now see, here's where it gets tricky. Here's where you can have people that have all the money in the world, but they don't have happiness because they don't have their true success. And why you can have people that they're not making as much, they don't have as much money, but they're happy. They have joy because they know their why. If their why is to make sure their family has not just a roof, but it's a backyard for my children to play in. Cars that work well for my wife and I to drive. I'm able to have dinner with my family on a consistent basis, and it's not a problem. You know, our health is, these are your true whys. Why? Because I don't want my child to go through what I went through. Why? Because I don't want my wife to have this stress or this worry on her. Well, your true whys of why you want those things represent your true success. If you just think that a position is going to give you the happiness and joy that you know about, then you don't know. You don't really know what it is your why is. And that's so key to this entire scenario, because success is relative to perspective. That's right. Success is relative to perspective. Why is success relative to perspective? Because in truth, your success is determined by how you feel. There's somebody out there that went to the Olympics, and just because they got to go, they're elated. Oh my God, I was selected for the Olympics. And then there's another person that placed fifth, placed fourth, and they are disappointed beyond repair. What's the difference? Perspective. It's their perspective. There's somebody that's working right now, and because they position themselves in a way that, hey, everything that they really want, their why, has come to grips. Well, maybe at first they thought they were going to need $50,000, but all of a sudden the house is paid off. All of a sudden the cars are paid off. So now you've got less overhead, which means You've got more disposable income, which means the quality of life that you're looking for is happening. That's success. Or you stepped out and you don't make as much as you did at your corporate job, but what you make working for yourself, building your business, more than covers all of your bills. And now you're not working 40, 50 hours a week. You're working 20, 30 hours a week. You get to go to the children's recital. You get to cook dinner. You get to have breakfast with them. You get to be more involved with your wife and have more time there. And that matters to you because it improves the quality of your life. And now you're in true success because your perspective of success is being able to take those vacations when you want to, being able to be impactful to the people that you love the most, being able to deliver a higher quality of life and experience to not only yourself, to the people you love and that you're surrounded by. And that, my friend, is fact.